Hi Angela, thank you for your presentation. I really liked the links to theory that you have. It's very well articulated as well. As you've pointed out, it's difficult to assess the financial situation in Zoetermeer without the broader economic context. It is also difficult to work out what is factored into each program in terms of activities and outputs. However, you've appeared to consider that this budget shows a generally favourable situation. You've clearly explained that the budget was in surplus and the costs in particular were lower than anticipated, although this is from the revised budget forecast, not the original. It is implied, but it would have been good to clearly link this to the idea that the public sector should have a sustainable financial situation, which you had pointed out at the beginning, as this would make the argument stronger. You also point out that there appear to be challenges with financial management and hint at some of the program areas are not performing as well as others and are not as well managed, which I do agree with, as it links with the idea that efficiency and good performance is elements of good financial management in the public sector. You have identified some areas that are unfavourable, such as infrastructure, and have used the criteria of higher costs than expected, which is reasonable given the absence of information about outcomes in this scenario. Your reasoning and suggestion around performance of the service and governance sector is sound, as it does appear that it did better than expected, with both a reduction in cost and increase in revenue compared with both the initial and revised budget. This could be suggestive of greater efficiency in this program area, or at least some careful management. However, it could also be considered, as appeared to be the case in the infrastructure program, that there could be broader factors at play that could influence these areas and may not be in control of the managers. Looking at welfare, you have also rightly considered that these goods might be considered public goods or have public value, and therefore may not be subjected to costs versus revenue considerations as to whether it's a favourable outcome. I also agree that these areas of arts and culture and library, as well as public areas, have scope to increase revenue. They can do this in a way that is not overtly political in terms of a tax, and could add value to the use of these facilities by attracting new events and services from the private or NGO sectors. I have some concerns about your suggestions for tendering out services for welfare. Although contracting out may be able to achieve some savings, they would really need to consider the stakeholders and be done in a way that did not risk quality of service or pass the cost on to those most vulnerable in a fee-for-service model, or risk excessively spending on the contracting process itself. I agree that the position of having sufficient general revenue, could be framed as a positive outcome politically speaking for the next year due to the stability. And I would suggest that on the side, though, that the fact that it was not excessively in surplus was also positive, as it could then be read that the taxation is excessive for the needs of the municipality and could be overuse of the state's coercive powers to get that money. Thanks again, Angela. Bye.